Shut up, dude. Combat is even against a light horse. How's this ambush successful? Nope, we can't even beat that one. There. Here's some good ASMR.
Once I was the ape of the hour, when
Oh,
I think I'm a coward.
So you clicked on this video for a women only challenge, and a challenge this was, it was so bad that I had to actually go back and do every single unit that I could. And what I mean by every single unit is based off of the Daughter of Mars DLC. The Daughter of Mars DLC is a paid DLC that gives you a small amount of units. So starting off with the gladiatresses, which can be recruited in Rome or as mercenaries in Italia. What this list does not tell you is that a lot of the units, or half the units that can be recruited, you can only actually recruit 6 of them. Only 6 units, which means the rest of them are only mercenaries. Next one is the mercenary Kush shield whammons, which can be recruited as mercenaries in Ethiopia. That is absolutely correct. We have the Lusitani swordswomen, which can be recruited by Lusitani. They are tier 3, and you can only recruit 6 of them, and they can be recruited as mercenaries. We have the Cimbri bowwoman, which is just regular recruits, so that's fine. The spear gladiatresses, which can be recruited by Rome, which is correct, or mercenaries in Italia, which is freaking wrong. You literally cannot do that. This is a lie. They did not update this. This is a lie. Gorgo skirmishers can be recruited by Sparta, so only Sparta can recruit these normally, but you can get them as mercenaries, which is correct. You have the spear whammons, which says can be recruited by Suebi, which is a lie because you cannot recruit these normally. You can only get them as mercenaries. However, you can recruit these as a factional and a region unit. Probably thinking, geez, since you paid for these units, they must be good, right? Well, that's where you're wrong. The only actual decent units are the ranged units. Before we get into this challenge, I just wanted to say that I did the best that I could with these units. I gave them the most fair shot probably anybody possibly would. Recruiting these mercenaries or as units takes a long time. It'll take you about an hour to an hour and a half. I wanted to kind of mix up the mercenaries. I didn't want to bunch every single mercenary into the same faction, so that way I can actually get a better idea of what each mercenary would be like. Starting off, we're going to be doing Suebi. Before I actually talk about how the campaign went, let's take a look at their units. So we go to our general, we go to higher mercenaries. We have the mercenary spear women, which you have 2 options for recruiting these. We have the provincial, which is like the area, and then we have the factional, which you can recruit anywhere. But take a look at the price, 333. This can be reduced. However, a massive problem with this faction is that you do not have enough income. So let's go to the craftsman house, and we go to the woodworker, which gives us the Cimbri bowwoman, which I think they're actually priced pretty good. The DLC said that there was 3 options to recruiting the spear women, which, as we are clearly, I'm just literally going to just show you. Literally freaking nothing. Now that we've got the units out of the way, let's talk about the campaign, which was pretty bad. So when you first start out, you have to get rid of all your units, and which leaves you with just female general, 1 of them, by the way, and you're at war with boy who doesn't peace out all the time. The mercenaries are 300 freaking gold each. You can get them reduced quite a bit, but it's still very bad. You literally only have enough for 1 army in the settlement. Even that's with you getting a crap load of research, by the way. Officially 1 hour and 4 minutes in, we finally have an army. Finally. To add further insult to injury, the plagues and the great fires, freaking hell, dude. Since the plagues and great fires have nowhere else to go, you will constantly get plagued. I think I literally had 1 campaign where I was plagued 7 times. Are you freaking, dude? That's the 6th plague in this stupid game. Oh, sorry, 7 plagues. My bad. Literally my bad. Oh. And would you look at that? They're coming for me. Wow. Oh, and by the way, since the spear women are trash in auto-resolve and manual battles, are you kidding me, dude? What is this bullshit? All right, what we got here? Spear levy. We're fighting it. I'm gonna have to use the generals. Actually, you need to go over here. This is where they're losing. Dude, we're losing to freaking trash. This is bad. Dude, this is bad. I mean, we still won, but dude, come on, get him. Valiant defeat. Really? There it is. Alrighty. This is literally, we'll make it or we'll break it. That's not a heroic victory. That's freaking rip balls. Well, look, dude, we're back at square one again. The AI will constantly troll you. They will just run to where your border starts and they will constantly just raid you over and over and over and over again. Oh, shit. Here we go. There we go. Minus income. And they would not let you starve out. They just kept raiding you and fortifying in your face. That's all the AI was doing because you could literally go freaking nowhere. And when you actually do go out and expand your settlement, guess what? The AI comes and steals your first settlement, which means oopsie doopsie. And then guess what? You get plagued again. All right, we're taking it. We're taking it, boys. All right, 84. Yep, we're taking it. We're occupying this shit. No. No. Dude. I don't even freaking care. Oh boy. Well, the realistically thing is here, I can still fight this and maybe win, but it doesn't matter. There's freaking 3 armies around the settlement. That's a full stack right there, so...
Can I finish my wine?
Well. Only one final thing to do. After all that being said, I still wouldn't consider these units that good. Despite even having a few abilities, despite having javelins, they're actually just not on par to an actual hoplite. And I like to use the Greek hoplites as a comparison. And the most important thing in a hoplite is the base stats, more specifically like the defensive stats, which the spear women actually lack those stats. What about the Cimbri bow women? Well, they are better than your average bow unit because they have 150 range and the base ones usually have 125. She does have some abilities. So you have your flame shot, which is pretty well average. And then you have your whistling shot, which on legendary, it's basically pointless because it's a morale thing. Next up is the Lusitani, which has one choice of recruits, but you can recruit them in 2 different spots. So if we go to our general, we hit the mercenaries. We have the Lusitani swordswomen, which can be recruited as mercenaries, and we can also get them as a tier 3 recruit, by the way. Let's go back to our general real quick. We have the Iberian swordsmen, which I'll show us side by side up on the screen there, but they're basically equivalent in stats. But this also means that the Lusitani swordswoman is one of the worst tier 3 melee units I've ever used. Now that we have the singular unit out of the way, how about the campaign? Well, when you first start out, it was literally easy. You were at war with one faction, which was blocked by another faction. So you have plenty of time to just chill, get your units up, which will take you anywhere from about 45 minutes to an hour to actually get a full 20 stack. Luckily for me, though, the AI just completely left their settlement undefended. Easiest freaking game ever. Dude, he got freaking blown up. Oh, that's fine. That's actually fine because the mercenaries aren't getting blown up. And we're just gonna straight up occupy. Dude, this is fully juiced already. But after that, that's when the real challenge kicks in. Uh-oh, Aerovac S. Oh, he's literally attacking me. Nice. What? Oh, dude, what do you freaking mean? What the hell is this? Dude, that auto-resolve was freaking broken. You stupid dumbass, dude. Oh, dude, come on. Come on. Nope, I literally can't accept that. Oh my freaking god, dude. He's got O-sworn. It's over.
We live for battle.
This is not good, by the way. Oh, we're freaking screwed. It's over. Yeah. Yeah, it's over. Well...
Once I was the ape of the hour.
Oh,
Become a coward, an absolute zero. I'm nobody's hero. An absolute zero.
I don't know what to do. You have a tier 3 unit that performs like a tier 0, which all the rest of the units around you, except for the same Iberian factions, have way better units and they perform way better in auto-resolve. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. All right, the first actual freaking battle. Dude, they freaking suck. How did you lose into this stupid freaking garbage? Come on. Get these freaking stupid things. Please tell me we didn't lose a mercenary. Hey, what the freaking hell is this bullshit? Okay. So, yep, we're gonna have to fight her. combat is even against a light horse. What a freaking joke, dude. Look at this. It's over. The slingers. That's the unfortunate thing. I literally have to chase these away because these guys have no armor, so they can't withstand any freaking damage. Garbage freaking units, dude. Dude, Levy Freeman. Levy Freeman is a better auto-resolve than these freaking shitty units, and these are a tier 3 unit. Levy Freeman's a tier 1. Well, they're freaking dead. I mean, I can't even beat them in Force Smart, dude. That's how freaking these stupid units are. Yeah, there it is. There's literally no way. Yeah. Lusitani Swordswoman has the worst auto resolve out of all the units in this challenge, and the thing with them is that you have to have 2 armies constantly together, which is difficult to do because the AI would have about 2 to 3 times more armies. So after all that being said, is it possible to complete a women only challenge with Lusitani? Realistically, no. However, I managed it somehow. Well, mainly because the AI glitched. What I was doing was I was constantly creating alliances with people who were beating other factions, but then if they got beat, I'd break alliances and then join other ones. So it was basically like a back and forth. It was me and Massalia. And if you look at this here, I'll probably show on the screen here, you see all the yellow and all the blue or whatever the hell color it was. You'd think based off of that I would lose, but I actually won because Massalia glitched.
Can I finish my wine?
Well, well, well. As you have clearly seen, the Lusitani Swordswomen are one of the worst tier 3s I've ever used. They have the equivalent stats of a tier 0, both in regular combat and auto-resolve. So you're better off not even recruiting these units at all. They have javelins, I guess, which is a plus, but other than that, there's really nothing special about these units. Now we are on the Kush faction, which you are better off smoking a bunch of Kush than actually using this unit, but let's go to them anyway. So if we go to our General, go to Mercenaries, we have the Mercenary Kushite Shield Woman, which as you can see by the stats, it is freaking terrible. This is probably equivalent to a tier 1 or maybe a tier 2 depending on the faction, but very similar to the Suebi faction. They perform pretty well close. I mean, down over in this part of the area, there's usually a little bit more weaker units, but still they were terrible. So how did this campaign go? As to be expected, very early Egypt will attack you, and guess how that turned out?
With your stupid words.
It's over. All right, let's see if we can get Axum to join in there. All right, if we cannot peace out with him, it's over.
Have you bathed today? Speak anyway. But like a decently
Come
civilized
on.
Egyptian is.
Well,
I don't know what's happening to me.
yep, pretty good, I'd say. It'll take you about an hour and a half to build a full army, and you get attacked multiple times by different factions, so you need to think outside the box. I spec'd all my points as much as I could into the cunning to get the toxic ability for my spies, and the assassination in the champions as well. And on top of that, I also was defensive alliances with Axum. So since I couldn't actually leave anywhere, I used my agents to slow down Egypt's armies. Axum would go and attack them, but unfortunately, Axum is a very weak faction, so it was almost a back and forth every single time.
In the hope that you will see the
For
merit of
free?
closer ties.
Sure.
I serve you. I revel. I've carried out your orders. The men must serve. I will come from. My mission was a success.
You should be able to win that. There's two armies there. You should be able to get it. Yeah. There you go. Come on, Axum. You got this. That's yours. There it is. Thanks to Axum, I was able to get myself 2 armies while he lost a ton of armies. But because I had 2 armies, all resolves were basically easy and I steamrolled right through Egypt.
Soon will favor us.
Keeping a bowl together.
We can go.
No, I don't want to wait that one turn.
Further plan.
Remember.
For our might.
Say bye-bye to your food, loser. Don't hurt. Don't hurt. Don't blow up any units, please. Thank you. All right, I think we should be all right. 88%. Yep.
For the glory of our
See you later.
You son of a...
After beating Egypt, I made my way over to Nabatea and did my first manual battle, and guess how that went? All right, let's see here. All right, I gotta see how well these things fight. So what do we have here? Armored camel, we got a bunch of camel, caravan guard, a couple range units. All right, we're gonna fight it. Dude, these units freaking suck. Come on, dude, you're completely surrounded this stupid cavalry. Let's go. We even have cavalry counterattacks. They're still freaking shit against cavalry. Come on, you freaking shitty ass units, dude. We're not even fighting hard enemies here. Well, what did we learn from this battle? They're so freaking bad, dude. I don't even want to do this. This is so stupid. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I thought they were actually pretty decent in auto-resolve, but turns out they weren't all that great after all, because Rome decided to be like, hey, here I come after you, and guess how that also turned out? Oh, shit. This is freaking bad. Dude. How's this ambush successful? Nope, we can't even beat that one. His armies are too freaking strong. Is this bringing in the... Oh, it's bringing in the Garas. I doubt we can win. Yep. Close defeat. By doing a bunch of 2v1s, it wasn't too hard against Rome, but the problem with Rome is that he keeps throwing armies at you, so you have to actually move your units away from each other, so it's no longer 2v1s, it's now 1v1, so you're staying in the settlements, and then the game drops a massive bomb. As you go further, and as you take some settlements, the game will throw a plague at you, which completely screws you. Let's move her up here. Then we'll take Karsko next. Okay, we're dude. Oh my god. No.
ready for
You
greatness.
f***ing piece of game, dude. Dude, this hard enough. I don't need random flags, you f***ing. Oh. Ah, dude. Even still, I mean, they're so freaking garbage. It's unbelievable how freaking crappy all these women freaking units are. I can't even talk right now. It's so frustrating I am with this stupid challenge. I think I'm done with Kush. After all you've seen, is the mercenary Kushite shield woman a good unit? Ultimately, not really, and it's pretty comparable to the spear woman that Suebi has. They do have a few abilities. They do have a bonus to cavalry, but as you saw, they're not very good against cavalry, even with the bonus. And when we just look at stat-wise, we can compare them to the Greek hoplites because I consider them the average. These units would be below average, the same as Suebi. Last but not least, we have Rome, which has 2 units. However, with this one in particular, I did 3 units. So we have the Spear Gladiatresses, the Gladiatresses, and Gorgo Skirmishers. And you also see I have a female general because I needed to use a mod. And in order to recruit the Spear Gladiatresses, you actually have to have them regular recruits. So if we go to a settlement, we have the Gladiator School. As you can see, there's Spear Gladiatresses and Gladiatresses. And you can also get one of them by mercs. The DLC says you can get the Spear Gladiatresses by mercs, which is absolutely freaking wrong. As you'll clearly see here, hire mercenaries, I don't have them at all. And if you're thinking about research, well, as you can see, management is finished and also tactics as well is finished. Some things to keep in mind when using the Gladiatresses, either one is that they have 120 unit card instead of 160, so it's below the average amount. And they also have 43 armor or 40 armor, this is boosted, which is terrible. And these are a tier 3, by the way, and they cost a fortune to actually recruit. Well, let's go to our general real quick. We have the Evocati and the Eagle Cohort, which are both a tier 2 unit, by the way. And look at that, they have 90 armor each, which also means that these units are way better to use both a manual and auto-resolve as opposed to the Gladiatresses. To be fair, and this is my own opinion, I wouldn't use these as your frontline melee infantry. I use these as like a support to the frontline melee infantry. You can kind of consider these like an armored naked warrior, but for the purpose of this challenge, I had to use these as your main frontline infantry. As for Gorgo Skirmishers, you can recruit them as mercenaries in Hellas, and if you play as Sparta, you can recruit them as normal units. As you see here, I I got 4 in my army, and the nice thing about them is they have quick reload. Now that we've finished up with the units, how did the campaign go? Well, when you start out with Rome, you're at war with the Etruscan League, and as to be expected, when you have hardly any units, yep, here they are. What is this yielding? Oh yeah, literally no shot. All right, what about 14,000? Roma lost. We lost. There it is. Let's see,
My time
33,000.
is better spent feasting and hunting than listening. So be quick with your chatter.
Nope, ain't happening. Well, that's over. Oh no! Double kill. Oh, here it goes. Four whammons down. GG. Okay, this is just a prank. All you need to do is just get a big garrison, or a double garrison is what I like to call it. Get the gladiator school, have your generals routed in the settlement, then recruit the gladiators, and then wait for the mercs. Basically, that's about it. Oh wait, actually the AI took care of it for me. All right, Roma. So we got to do this differently now. So we're going to need a double garrison. All right, new legacy. Aim. Oh yeah, we got one. Nice. All right, we're gonna need to grab us a public form. Now, we have got the spear gladiatresses and the gladiatresses,
Prepare yourselves.
which we can only grab 6. This will be a test. Uh-oh. Oh, it's Sparta, yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna help him. I thought he attacked the settlement. No, and Sparta got him. And then we're gonna kill him. Let's bring everyone down this way. Hour and a half. About freaking time. All right, we're gonna use this army and this army, and we're gonna see how well that does auto-resolve. All right, what's this yielding? Yeah, they're 12 units, and we're getting 74% auto-resolve. Dude, these units are freaking busted.
The victory.
80%. I still actually think that's pretty good, because these are pretty good in auto-resolve, these 3 units. But the rest are, if they had Carthagena hoplites, this would be at like probably 90% at least, minimum. All right, so we saw an easy old auto-resolve against some weaker units. How about the same tier or the tier above? Well, if you haven't already guessed by now, I am very picky when it comes to the units I use, and the gladiatresses are technically the best melee infantry in this challenge that I've used. However, the gladiatresses and all the other melee infantry I've used in this challenge were designed pretty bad, and ultimately they suffer because of it. So, as you see, we currently have a bunch of the gladiatresses, and we have Gorgo skirmishers. We're going up against tier 3. This is tier 3 units here, basically, and then this is just tier 1 garbage. But tier 3 units. Apparently, they're even worse in auto-resolve than the Chosen.
Ready for battle.
They are not as good as a general, clearly, but 2 of them can beat a general. Heroic victory. 400 freaking kills in the slinger, though. The thing with them is that they have 120 units instead of 160 or 180. So they're technically not as good. And they don't have javelins. All right, this will be a good test to see how well this army actually is. Dude, we're losing to 1 spear wall. All right, well, it's confirmed. 2 spear gladiators cannot go up against 1 spear wall. Close victory. So definitely lost at least 3. A normal army of mine I would not lose a single unit in this type of battle. Not even 1.
The victory.
6-5. Okay, I have to do a manual battle for this one. Oh my god, dude, we're getting freaking demolished by these guys. We're literally losing to Spear Brothers.
A unit is running from the battlefield.
These freaking shitty units, dude. This is not even a stacked army by freaking Suebi, because normally he'd have way more sword masters. They have just like round shield swordsmen and freaking Spear Brothers, which are trash units, but somehow they ended up doing way better against these freaking units. I don't know. Shit. I had a feeling. All right. Well, yeah. These units are just too crap to do anything. I'm done. I had enough of this, and it's freaking. Guess I'm out. After everything that's been said, what do I ultimately think about the gladiatresses? They are not very good for their tiers, especially the spear gladiatresses. And the thing in Total War Rome 2, if a lot of people don't really know, is that sword beats spear almost unanimously, unless the spears are completely broken, like Sparta, for example. They have a bunch of abilities, which is okay, I guess, but ultimately they weren't designed very good. So you can throw whatever ability you want at them, and it doesn't really matter. If we look at the mercenary gladiatresses, they have Killing Spree, which is weapon damage but fatigue, and then Frenzy, which is like a charge bonus. So you're better off using the gladiatresses as armored naked warrior. That's what they're probably more best at least in my opinion. And finally, we have Gorgo skirmishers, which are slightly better than your average slingers just because they have quick reload, and they also have slightly better missile damage than your average slinger. They don't have as good of defensive stats over your average slinger, but it kind of balances itself in the end. Would I recruit these in my army? I would. However, they will not shut up. Every time you click on these things, they yell. And that was one of the worst things about this challenge, is having the freaking women's constantly yelling, dude. Alrighty, before I go chop my earballs off, what have we learned today? Well, the women are not very good, except for the range units. They're actually decent, but the melee infantry women are not very good. Do not spend your money on this DLC because the in-game base units are way better than these ones, and it doesn't help that the women are always freaking screaming, dude. It's annoying. I freaking hated clicking on the units, and that's the reason why I'm gonna chop my earballs off, because I don't want to hear it. I'd rather be deaf. Okay, thanks for watching. Peace out. I'm gone.